Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my weekly Principals Pitch. It's great to have you with me. I'm going to reflect at the start on my monthly reading that I do up in the reception here, and it's a great opportunity. It's lovely to get up there. I read a story to them, possibly 2 or 3 depending on the time. But often when I'm there, they like to tell me what my job is. They sort of have this idea that I'm the principal, but it ranges from, switching the lights off at night to unlocking the school in the morning, even cleaning the bathrooms, all of which are very important roles. But what I wanted to do was just sort of share with you today a little bit of my week and some of the things I've been doing since last Friday, not just only to give you an idea that I'm actually doing something, but also there's some important things in there which I think would be good for you to hear. Every Friday, going back to last Friday, every Friday, I'm very fortunate to spend half an hour with our student leadership group, our Year 13s, and I spend time, myself, Mr. Woods and Mr. Thorpe, we listen to what they have to share with us and listen to the initiatives and the different areas and portfolios that they're covering and the changes and improvements they want to make to the school. Last Friday, I also was involved in an interview with what's called The Week at Warwick. It's a secondary weekly production that we have 2 students in a green screen room, and they sort of send it out to the homeroom. And they interviewed me and asked me a few questions about my role as principal. And then the day ended off with a meeting about robotics, how we can improve and adjust our pathway on robotics right from primary all the way through to secondary. And I had 6 or 7 staff with me just discussing how we could best implement that. So those are things on the horizon. I did have a cancelled football final on Friday night that's moved to next week. And then on Saturday, I was able to get to the BFA field to watch the middle school girls, their win over BHS, and our over 13 boys who lost and fought hard against Saltus. And then Saturday, what an amazing gala it was. Our Greece drama production came to a close. The curtains closed on that with a wonderful gala dinner. Lots of people watching and a huge support from our parents and friends of Warwick Academy. But most important is just to recognise the massive student cast, the crew, the backstage, and just all the staff who supported the production over the last several months. It is a mammoth undertaking, and it is just so amazing to see our students on stage doing so much, but also the support they got from some talented backstage crew. Our backstage crew was funny enough called the Backstage Boys. And also just seeing students who are able to step out of their comfort zone on stage and really sort of find something that they are incredibly talented at. So that was wonderful for Saturday night. Sunday, we had the cleanup. We got a lot of staff into school to help break it all down and get it ready for the week. And, these are no mean feats, but it's what we do at Warwick Academy. On Monday, I dived into my Year 11 skills lessons. I teach 3 of those classes, and this week we're doing a whole straw poll and survey around what options they'd like to do when they're in our sixth form. A hugely important decision-making process for them, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to engage them in it. Interestingly, also this week, we're involved in testing out IB exams online, and we're one of the few schools internationally that have been chosen for that. We're grateful for the opportunity. It gives us a chance to sort of see what we need to navigate in the next 5 years in particular, as most examination boards are moving into a totally online sort of world. I had a meeting with Mr. Colin Smith, our board chair, on Tuesday morning, some more skills lessons, and then I hosted a uniform review meeting where we spent some time talking about should there be any changes to our uniform. I know we've had some feedback through our student council about certain aspects of the uniform that might not be as comfortable, and we're looking to respond to those, and you'll hear more from me about that in the new year. And then I was able to attend a function with Argus. Argus have taken over managing our endowment fund, and as you would have seen in our annual giving, it's forming a huge focus for us this year. I had a health and safety meeting on Wednesday, just a monthly meeting I have, just making sure we cover ourselves on that front and review what we're doing and improving. And then, that led to my secondary debate club, which I run after school on a Wednesday. Great fun with a bunch of students who are very passionate debaters, and I'm really a novice compared to them, but great to hear them engage and enjoy themselves. Thursday, I had a board infrastructure meeting, subcommittee, and we looked at discussing the big infrastructural pieces around our facilities, our IT, maintenance, cleaning, that type of thing. I dived into a Year 9 business lesson. I have an introductory course that I deliver with some Year 9s. I chatted to our admissions director, Mrs. Lee, about how admissions are set up for September. I had my strategic team meeting with that group on Thursday afternoon. And then we engaged parents here with a Screenager movie, which we did in partnership with the parents. Which brought us to Friday morning. This morning we had a full assembly, secondary assembly, and we focused on Human Rights Day, which is next week on the 10th. Hugely important conversation within the Warwick Academy school and community. And our Human Rights Committee, led by Emily Orchard and Mr. Lowe, who's our DEIB head, led the assembly and shared their thoughts with students today. We then concluded, I had a reading opportunity today with the reception, which really reminds me about, what my role might be viewed at by many of them. And again, my student leader meeting to close off the day. So that's a little bit about my week. Always a different week. There's always something different in there that it's not the Groundhog Day that I have to go through, which keeps the job interesting and enjoyable. I just wanted to end off with a couple of things. I don't know if you picked up in the news recently. Australia have decided to ban social media for any student under the age or child under the age of 16, and I think that's going to be an interesting story to follow. And then I wanted to mention, how topical artificial intelligence is. And I know I've had a few parents ask me about, how we're engaging in the topic, and we are. We have a staff committee actually doing some research and development on it. We have an academic honesty policy on our website which addresses some of it and some approaches to it. But really, I wanted to share 4 key points with parents just to show you where the conversation is going with regards to AI, and in particular, how we're going to accommodate students with their use, because at the end of the day, it is about ensuring the most appropriate use of it, rather than sort of banning it or stopping it or trying to prevent it. I don't think that's the right approach. But in terms of sort of authentication checks and honesty, what we call the academic honesty side of it, and this would cover really the whole school, but really focuses on our older students. We ask teachers to see if they've seen students develop work over a period of time rather than just suddenly appearing. Can the student explain the work sufficiently and effectively? So to show them that they have developed their own trains of thought. In IB world, we call that the viva voce conversation, where we actually engage to make sure that it is authentic. And we want to make sure that the students are clear when they're quoting other people's ideas and quoting whatever they use from ChatGPT or other AI, and how they claim the idea in their conclusion as their own work. So the referencing side of things is hugely important. And then finally, the teacher confirming the quality of the final piece of work, that it's in line with what they expect from the student, that it sort of matches what they've produced before. And those are 4 areas that we're talking about on the AI front, which no doubt will be developing rapidly over the next few years. We've got conversations in-house about how we deliver different aspects of the artificial intelligence ability in different lessons and scopes within the school. So lots ahead. But there we go. That's my principal's pitch for this week. Great to have you with me again, and have a great weekend.